Hi, I'm Ray Upchurch, and you're watching the Trey Hart Learning Channel. Today we're going to talk about feed a cold or starve of fever. Here recently I've had a cold, and it's had me thinking, that old saying that says, feed a cold or starve of fever. Where does it come from, and is it even true? Well, as I was looking and researching up on this, I found that as early as 1554 that you can find in some of the dictionaries that it talks about feeding a cold or starving of fever. So why would it say this? Well, it used to be thought that if you had a fever or when you ate, it caused your body or your metabolism to speed up. And it does. That wasn't incorrect. It does cause your metabolism to speed up a little bit. It was thought that because your metabolism sped up, that it would cause your fever to become worse. So they thought if you didn't eat while you have a fever, then your metabolism would slow down, and it would, in return, also slow down your fever. Well, that's not actually true. The truth is that if you don't eat enough, especially in the early stages of having fevers, from like the flu virus, it can actually be dangerous for you. Now, why might it be dangerous for you? Well, some of the cells that you have in your body that help fight off the cold and the flu are called T cells. And these T cells, if you don't have enough energy or if you don't have enough nutrients in your body, they can't develop as well. And so they don't fight off your cold or flu as well as it would do. So the adage about, feed a cold and starve of flu or starve of fever was not exactly correct. Actually, if it was made to be correct, it should be feed a cold and feed a fever. The reason is for both of these, you need enough nutrients that help you fight both of these things off. Now, the one thing that you don't want to do is to overdo it. So, feed a cold and feed a fever does not mean that you need to go out and start packing stuff in. You don't want to overdo it, but you also don't want to underdo it. So, for example, say you're on a diet and you got a cold or a fever. One of the things that you might want to consider is eating the appropriate amount of calories that it would take to maintain your weight while you have the cold and fever until it passes, and then after it passes, to resume your diet. So basically, you don't want to have too few calories that would cause you not to be able to build up your T cells. Now, one of the things that you absolutely need to do, especially when you have a fever, is to make sure that you have enough fluids. If you do not have enough fluids during these times, it can cause the fever to become worse. Matter of fact, you become more dehydrated. And the more dehydrated you are, the less your body is able to fight off these disorders or this, the cold and flu virus. So you want to make sure that you have enough water in your system to do this. Now, some people say, well, what about chicken soup? Isn't that good for a cold or a flu? Well, yes, it is. But it isn't just because it's chicken soup. The reason why chicken soup, or any soup for that fact, is good for you is because it has the hot, so it has the hot moisture that you would inhale, and that would help loosen up the mucus that's in your lungs. And the other ingredients, like the chicken, it has the nutrients that you need to help fight off the cold and flu. But as well, that applies to any soup, so not just necessary chicken soup. So whether it's, just a a potato soup or something that has calories in it, that's fine. You know, some people also find this benefit. You know, one of the things that people do is drink hot drinks. And these hot drinks typically have like lemon and honey in them. And while none of those are particularly bad for you, matter of fact, they're not bad for you at all. The reason why it works so well is because it helps the heat helps break down some of the mucus that's in your lungs, and it helps you get up. And plus, you're having the fluids, so the fluids helps also you to maintain your fluids so that you're not dehydrated, and so that your lungs are able to get up, you know, the mucus in them better. So that's why, you know, you should maintain your fluids, and you should make sure that you eat appropriate amounts, not going overboard. But if you're on a diet, you know, go back to a normal diet while you have a cold or the flu, and make sure that, you know, after your cold and flu is over, like I said before, then you could go back to and resume your diet. But you want to make sure that you have the appropriate amount of nutrients so that you're able to fight off your cold or your flu, and so that you're able to get over these things faster. So hopefully this helps answer some of your questions in regards to this. If you have any comments, please post them in the comments below. And if you haven't seen this before, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you like what you saw, please press the like button in the things below. But let me know what you thought. And if you have any further suggestions or anything there as well, put them in the comments below, and I will try to respond to each of these. This is Ray Upchurch, and I will see you next time.